It's the My First Gig podcast, whoa. Sharing stories of first gigs and shows. Comedians sharing their memories. The fun and entertaining, exciting and crazy. With Dwayne Dugan as your host. It's the My First Gig podcast, here we go.
Ho, 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 and welcome to My First Gig with me, Dwayne Dugan. Oh, guys, it's Christmas week. Are we excited? Are we loving the snow? Are we stressed out about shopping? Are we freaking out? Do we not want to be stuck inside with our families for all those days? And we're really looking for something to escape and just crawl away and just take our mind off of things and just relax and just until we, you obviously get to dinner, but then there's the conversation and then you afterwards and all the amount of work and then the tidying and then the stress and oh God, how many times am I going to have to hoover and I just need to get away and I just need to put in my headphones and keep my head down and just for a little while I need to relax, and what better way to do that than with this Patreon exclusive interview with the one and only Pat McDonnell. Thank you for joining us this week, wherever you may be, exclusively here on Patreon on the stars of the Irish comedy scene. Very, very fun episode today with the legendary Pat McDonnell, as I said. You may know Pat McDonnell from his iconic, and I don't use that word lightly, from his iconic performance as Eoin McLove in Father Ted back in the day. Thanks for everyone who tuned in last week with the amazing Ger Staunton. And also if you've gone back and listened to Aidan Green and Jim Elliott on this series. If you're listening to this on the main feed, this is just a preview. We're going to cut out in a minute. This is just to give you a little wet whistle. With your wet whistle, you might come over to patreon.com/myfirstgigpod. And for just €5 a month, on the Club Comic tier, sign up and you will get all of these interviews straight into your podcast app. What? So today is Pat McDonnell, fantastic guest. I love hearing some of the older Irish stories from the 90s and just, the scene before I knew it, and it's just so fascinating. I've always had a real interest in the history of Irish comedy. I would even Pat mentions a few gigs and who ran them, and a few years ago I tried to put together a list of the history of Irish clubs, and there's just too many people who've come and gone, and rooms and venues that have come and gone to ever do a full list. But I'd love to know what was where and what was like, and stories like this are a little bit of an insight. And yeah, so thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, you're going to hear a little bit from Pat, and then we're going to fade out. But as this is a Patreon episode, I do not want to waffle on too long. So, if you're ready, join me now and listen to My First Gig with Pat McDonnell.
It's good. Yeah, we do a lot of shows together around the country.
Yeah.
Like a Father Ted, Stars of Father Ted, or we call it Father Ted, whatever they want to call it. And to promote them, we decided to do sketches and put them up, and they're quite good at
the editing's quite nice, isn't it? You got green screens and stuff going on.
Yeah. Joe got a green screen. We film it in his flat in Drogheda.
Do you guys edit it as well?
Joe edits it. Yeah. So I go up there maybe once a week, and we do one or two. So we just try to get a few done for Christmas there.
Keeps your brain kind of ticking and having to write something.
Yeah, it is good. Yeah, absolutely, it is. Yeah, it's fun, and so some of them.
Oh, did we tease you? I'm sorry, that's just a little teaser of what's going on over at Patreon. My First Gig, Season 3 has concluded. All 30 episodes of Season 1, 2 and 3 are up here on this feed, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and of course on Acast. But if you want to hear more, the Stars of the Irish Comedy Scene series has kicked off over at patreon.com/myfirstgig, including the episode that you're listening to now. So if you want them, go over and subscribe. Please, who wants bonus episodes? I know you do, because you're here. But we took it away from you. It's the equivalent of when you're on a news article and that little paywall just fades things to white. I'm fading to white, baby. Patreon.com/myfirstgig pod. Thank you.
It's the My First Gig podcast, whoa.